All right, we just got a really big patch for Path of Exile 2. A lot of these things might seem minor on the surface, but these are going to make the game overall just feel so much better to play, especially in endgame. And the first thing, probably, in my opinion, the biggest thing, and there are lots of big things in this, but I think this is the most impactful one, that is going to be Stash Tab Affinities for new things. So we now have all of these extra affinities. We have Ritual, Socketables, Expedition, we have Fragments, Breach as well. So now you can set your tabs to these different things like this, Breach over here. And instead of previously what you had to do, it just like this eats up hours and hours and hours over time. If I have an inventory like this, I would have to go like, okay, this goes here, this goes here, and then you do it, and then you've still got like 2 things I could have gone on the other tab. Now, I can just do this. Put them all away, and they all go where they are supposed to. This is like a monumental improvement. I know it might seem small, but if you've done mapping and you've had to like click through so many different tabs, it's fatiguing over a period of time. So we've got our little fragment tab that's gonna put in things like your inscribed ultimatums and your tablets. I think the breach one might be a bit borked. It's not seeming to take in. Oh no, where is it? So currently breach is being detected as a fragment. These breach splinters, I'll report that as a bug unless it's intended. I doubt it. We've also got things for rituals. So this should go into my ritual tab over here. And Expedition, all of these currencies. Runes, this is the biggest one, just your socketables. Another little bit of a bug that I have reported is that these new attribute runes don't seem to be registering as socketables, so they don't go into your socketable tab. But if you have your tabs, make sure to set this up. I promise you it's going to save you so much time over the long run. Next thing, a wonderful, long time asked for change is belt charm implicits. So now belts from up to level 30 can have 1 to 2 charm slots, and above that, they can now roll 1 to 3 charm slots. It seems like there is still a roll range on these, so you could get a high level one with 1 charm slot. I don't know about that. It'd just be nice if they just had the 3 at the higher tier, but that being said, this is still a phenomenal change. I've actually never had a belt with 3 charm slots. This not only frees up a suffix, potentially, on belts, but now it provides a lot more defensive options for your belts, because you can use, possibly for most of us, up to 2 more charms. So you could get things that reduce your effects of getting slowed, or your chaos resistance, poison, all of this. It's just a big overall buff to a lot of different classes. Also, they have changed the modifiers on charms. So currently charms, they had just terrible rolls on them, like useless modifiers that were like recover 4 mana. Wow, like that, who cares? Now, these are going to get much better rolls. I managed to find 1 charm, so we can look at some of the modifiers. 40% increased duration, 51% increased charges. Do we have any duration charms? We don't, but let's see. Recover 14 life, but there was another change. Charms now have half as many charges, but require half as many charges to use. So this means they will fill up much more quickly. You should be able to trigger them far more often. So charms are getting just like a massive buff that you can have 3 much more easily, and they have better mods on them. You know what we should do? I have some annuls. Let's annul this and see if we can get one of those new modifiers. Okay, all right. 232 guard during effect. That is much better. I think previously this was like, did I have any with guard? 19? Obviously, this is a lower level one, but I mean 19 versus 232. I'll use another one of these, and we can do like that. 291 life when used. Now that is actually bordering on being useful. One thing that they do still need to add is adding quality to these. I don't know why you can't do that, but sweet. Charms, way better. Then, next thing is to do with the Atlas, and this is another widely requested thing, and that is Atlas bookmarks. So now, on your Atlas, you can right-click different nodes. You can also right-click things like towers, just general points of interest like this, and then you can add bookmarks. So I can say, this map is good, And then on the right over here, you can set an icon. So I could say like, this is a really good expedition map. And then we have this over here. So you can even right click this to update the name, change the icon, remove it. And then as I'm traveling around the atlas, you'll see that on the edge, all my bookmarks are kept. So I can just click this and be like, sweet, there's this map. You can add up to 16 of these currently. You can also right click towers, for example, and be like, tower here. One thing that I hope that they can add is fog of war right clicking. So I could right click over here and say, for example, there's this over here, this like red beam. I wish I could right click that and then say, you know, here is a boss that I'm looking to get. But currently you cannot right click fog of war. Even this, it's like just in the fog of war, I cannot right click. But still a wonderful update. You can now bounce between all these different points of interest. And then also, don't miss this, you've got a bookmark tab on the top left. So I can click this. This has a few different options. So it has edge display. So these little icons on the right and left, I can click that. That'll hide them if you don't want to see them. Then we've got player. This will shoot you straight to your player. Home, this will take you to the Ziggurat Refuge. Over here, monolith, this will take you to the burning monolith. And then you can click any of these. Like if I want to go to the breach or the cool tower or this, you can just click through these very quickly to bounce to them. And then if you want to remove one, you can just click this little X. It'd be nice if there was maybe like a confirmation or a toggleable confirmation, just so you don't accidentally remove them. But for the most part, super nice quality of life. Then, biggest, big change is you can now respec your Ascendancy. This is something so many people have been asking for. I don't think there was anyone who was passionately against this, but there were people who passionately wanted to be able to respec your Ascendancy. So now you can do that. If you want to do that, what you need to do is, actually, I'm going to pull it up and we can read. So it says, redoing an Ascendancy trial allows you to respec which Ascendancy class you have chosen at the Ascension device, but only if the trial would grant you the number of points you already have. So if I've done my level 4 lab, which we refer to as like Uber lab, I've done all my points, I would have to do that same tier of my trial to respec. Also, in order to respec your Ascendancy, you must have 0 points allocated into it, but you can now talk to Balbala or the Trial Master to refund passive points. So this means that you don't actually have to do your trial without your Ascendancy points. You can do it, and then at the end, you can refund your passive points and then change them. So you don't have to run through the whole trial with like way less power. So that's a nice little change. There are actually several other changes. I will link this in the description so you can have a read through. There's some endgame changes. So when you do your pinnacle bosses, they now have unlimited respawn attempts at difficulty 0. And remember, you're not going to be losing XP when you die. So this is very nice for practicing just the low level boss and then learning the mechanics so that when you go to the higher tiers, you kind of know what's happening. You don't just fail instantly. Crafting changes. As each new rune tier is unlocked, they're removing the lower tier runes, so you're not going to be finding so many of the lesser runes or the normal runes in high tier maps. You're just going to be finding the greater, which is all you really want to use. And then scepters now have sockets, and we've added a new set of talisman modifiers for scepters to allow upgrades to your minions at mid to late game. I don't know if these have been fully discovered yet, but I'm sure they will pop up soon. There's also some changes to totems, making them a bit tankier, and also light stun changes. So hopefully you're getting stunned a little bit less often. There's also some other item changes. So added an equipped gems section to the gem cutting interface to make leveling up easier for cross-class skills. So if you have different skills, like many of us do, from different gem types or weapon types, you now no longer have to flip through all the different pages. So I can just see equip gems over here and it shows all the gems, and then I can just level it up like that without having to go like spear, primal, dagger, or crossbow. There is this super nice quality of life over there. Shrines are also easier to click on. I'm sure many of us felt this, where you have to like click it 14 times before you actually landed on it and clicked on it. They've also done a whole lot of monster changes. So certain monster types should feel a little bit less unfair. And then a million bug fixes that maybe if you're playing a specific thing and you had a bug that you were struggling with, you can Control F and then search for it. But a lot of changes. So yeah, I am going to be playing Last Epoch for probably the next week. If it's really good, maybe the next 2 weeks, and then I'll pop back to PoE 2. I also will release a feedback video at some point. Even though I've had a good time with Path of Exile 2, I have pages of feedback and plenty of things that I think really, really, really needs to be looked at to get this game in a state that it's better for everyone. And I'm really hoping that we can get there. Probably my biggest thing right now is just crafting, man. Crafting, please. Jonathan, please. Please. Let us craft items. What are you doing? Okay, I need to go. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Follow me on Twitch. Join the Discord. Catch me live. I'll be streaming Last Epoch. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Catch you in the next video, and bye-bye.